Howdy y'all, welcome to Adventures with Kendall. Today we're going to Railtown 1897 State Historic Park in Jamestown, California. The reason being is that this year is the 125th anniversary of the Sierra Railways Incorporation. We're going to have some fun learning about trains, the unique structures, and the wonderful history of this little railroad. So let's get going and head to Jamestown to celebrate the 125th anniversary of the Sierra Railway. The story of the Sierra Railroad begins on February 1st, 1897. The Sierra Railway of California was founded by Thomas S. Bullock, Prince Andrei Poniatowski, and William H. Crocker, the latter of which is the son of Central Pacific's Charles Crocker. While the railroad handled the usual freight and passenger service throughout the area, their biggest customer was the West Side Lumber Company in Tuolumne, California. They would ship the freshly cut lumber down through the canyon, through the valley, and right into the town of Oakdale. Here, the load would be transferred to the Ashland, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad for further shipment into the wider world. Starting in 1919, Hollywood came out to film westerns on the Sierra Railroad. As of this video, the amount of movies made on the property include 200 plus films and television shows. From 1971 to 1979, the Sierra Railroad operated Railtown 1897 before selling it to the state of California. In that time, they operated excursion trains outside of Jamestown. Currently, there are two Sierra Railroads. The freight hauling railroad is now headquartered in Oakdale, California as the Sierra Northern Railway. They also operate lines in Fort Bragg, California and Fillmore, California. Meanwhile, the Sierra Railway in Jamestown is now part of the California State Park system and is celebrating the 125th anniversary of the Sierra Railway Incorporation all season long. Now that we've learned the history of Railtown 1897 and the Sierra Railroad, let's go explore this place throughout the day. There are many things to see, such as the Jamestown Depot, both freight and passenger cars of the Sierra Railroad, and later we'll take a nice train ride along the Sierra Railroad. In this area, this used to be an open field behind the roundhouse. Today is a nice picnic area maintained by the California State Parks. Here's an example of an exhibit, Sierra Railway Coach 5 and 6. These cars are original to the Sierra Railway and were built by the W.L. Holman and Company in San Francisco in 1902. Both were designed with a short chassis to be better able to handle the steep switchbacks down to the Stanislaus River and back up the other side to Angel's Camp. Starting from Jamestown, this 19-mile branch passed through areas with very colorful names, such as Table Mountain, Total Town, Jackass Hill, and Gee Whiz Point. Because of this, it became a favorite route for sightseeing and excursion trains, as well as normal and freight traffic for which the line was built. And here's the other coach on display, Sierra Railway No. 3. This coach was built in 1897, the same year the railroad was incorporated. In contrast to the coaches 5 and 6, coach No. 3 is an example of a regular style passenger car that was used on the Sierra Railway. Here's a picture of its interior back when it was in service on the railroad. Currently, there is no seating inside Sierra Coach No. 3. However, today, there was a nice exhibit inside of the car. This includes a nice diorama of the Jamestown Yard in 1929, and official documents from the Sierra Railroad of California. And here is the movie prop collection. Here, visitors can check out the movie history of the Sierra Railroad. This includes a timeline of the movie history, stacks used on the engines in westerns, and of course, large movie props built around Jamestown, such as this Los Angeles sign from The Greatest Lover starring Gene Wilder. And here's the Jamestown Roundhouse, where the maintenance and storage of steam locomotives are handled here at Railtown 1897. It is one of the few examples of this kind of structure still being used by a railroad. And here's Sierra Railway Shay Number 2. Built in 1922 by the Lima Locomotive Works for the Hutchison Lumber Company, this locomotive was donated to the state of California in 1967 by the Feather River Railway. The locomotive was leased to the Sierra Railroad in 1975 and returned to operation in 1979. Weighing in at 102 tons, this locomotive is the heaviest engine at Railtown. Here in the Roundhouse, the locomotives here are given maintenance, ensuring their further operations. This includes the ring of fire. This technique helps burns the new tire that will be used on the steam locomotives. And outside the Roundhouse are two more steam locomotives. The recently reacquired Sierra Railway number 34 and the movie queen herself, Sierra Railway number 3. Watch my video about the locomotive to learn more about it. I'm here with my friend Phil, who is one of my trainers at my docent training class at California State Rail Museum. So what's it like being here on this special day?
Well, Railtown's one of my favorite places, and it's opening day, and I thought I should come up and just kind of visit some locomotives and some friends and see what's going on, and I'm thrilled to run into you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see you again.
Right back at you, Kendall. But it just couldn't, couldn't be a nicer spring day, and Sierra number 3 is one of my favorite locomotives.
It was not only nice to see Phil again, but also to share our love for history and enjoy the day here at Railtown. And also to say thanks to him and others like him for keeping a place like this alive. Thank you for providing places like this to showcase that.
Well, I didn't have much to do with this, but I've taught classes here, and I've been here many times, and I haven't been back in about 3 years, so I'm just thrilled to be here today.
Well, it's good to see you again.
And what a treat to run into you and hear about everything that you're doing. That's great.
The train rides here at Railtown 1897 will take visitors 3 miles to the Sierra Rock Quarry and then back again. And here's the locomotive for our excursion today, Sierra Railway number 28. Purchased new by the Sierra Railway from the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1922, this locomotive has spent her entire life on the Sierra Railroad. Currently, it is the main workhorse of Railtown 1897 State Historic Park. And right now, it is the engine for our excursion train today. Speaking of excursion train, we are now departing and we'll be heading 3 miles out to a quarry before returning back to Jamestown. Let's get going. As we leave the Jamestown yard, here's the water tower that was made famous for being part of the opening scene from Petticoat Junction. Throughout our journey, we'll be entertained by the Black Irish Band. Once we're past the Saco Street crossing, we're off to a grand adventure into the Old West. Now let's sit back, relax, and enjoy our 3-mile ride on the Sierra Railway. Look at that, a herd of deer heading into the hills. That is quite a sight to see. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? Now you see why Hollywood kept coming here to make westerns. Old trains and beautiful landscapes. Perfect for period pictures. We're approaching the end of our journey outside of Jamestown, the quarry. Now it is time to head back into Jamestown. It'll be a fun ride back as it was heading up to the quarry. We're getting close to Jamestown by now. Take one good look at this field as we enter town. Throughout our trek today, it has been very easy to see why this railroad has lasted so long in 125 years. From the freight operations to the passenger service provided by the California State Parks, it's been a blast to be here on the Sierra Railroad. We're now entering the Jamestown Rail Yard. And now we've reached the end of the line. I hope you all had a good time with me. Now let's head back to the studio. I hope you had a great time at Railtown 1897 State Historic Park. It was fun exploring the history of the Sierra Railway in one location. And I had a great time seeing all those steam locomotives and meeting up with Phil. He was a very nice guy. I hope you're ready for our next adventure, because it's going to be a fun time, because we're going to learn the story of Butch Cassidy, one of the Wild West's most famous outlaws. We're going to see his childhood home and the location of one of his hideouts. Anyway, if you have a location for us to go on, comments or email down below. We would love to see your suggestions. And also subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We would love to see your faces. Now that's all the time we have here on Adventures with Kendall. See you later, folks, and may your gifts bless the world.